With many new sim racing games coming in 2024 or being significantly improved, beginners trying to enter the world of sim racing have lots of choices to start their journey. While you may be excited to see what's new, I think ACC still provides the best overall package for beginners. Here's why. To answer what is the best sim for beginners, we need to ask ourselves what beginners really want from a sim. I remember when I started in 2020, there were many different games to choose from. R-Factor 2, iRacing, Assetto Corsa, Race Room, ACC or Timecodes like Project Cars 2. I tried most of them and stuck with one, ACC. Why is that? While I liked the pure driving experience more on R-Factor 2, ACC was the only game that felt truly easy to understand. Many sim racing titles are niche products made by small development teams. In result, their focus is on the driving experience, not the user interface. Out of all games available, ACC was the only sim that nailed the UI. It looked like a modern game that tries to help beginners to understand the complicated world of simulated racing, and that still holds to this day. And the best part about it, its narrow focus on one main class, the GT3 class, makes it even easier to understand what's going on. When I installed the original Assetto Corsa, I never knew what to do. There was too much choice, I was overwhelmed. Sometimes less is more, especially in the beginning. In ACC, even though they since added supporting classes like the GT4s, GT2s, BMW M2 or Porsche Cup, the main focus of ACC is still on the GT3 class, which is a class that has driving aids like ABS or traction control, massively benefiting beginners to prevent being too frustrated and giving up early. Focusing on one class leads beginners to truly understand the details and differences between these cars. They learn that driving a rear-engine Porsche 911 comes with massively different characteristics than driving a front-engine BMW M4 or mid-engine Ferrari 296. Even though the focus may seem limiting in the beginning, it really is more than you ever need to start. Real race drivers are limited by budget and opportunity. Most of them only focus on one car for many years. It's much more valuable to first understand the ins and outs of one category than jumping from one car to the next. Given ACC is the official game of the GT World Challenge, a global sprint and endurance series with races all over the world featuring some of the best GT drivers in the world, the developers have the opportunity to closely work together with the manufacturers and build up an authentic and expansive field of GT3 cars, the biggest field of all sims on the market. Due to the close ties and proper underlying physics system, all cars feel like their real counterparts and fully simulate damage, tire wear, weight transfer induced by a fuel load, and more. Another huge part of a racing sim are, of course, the tracks. Most players trying a racing sim usually come from a simcade, like the F1 games by Codemasters, Project Cars, or console titles like Gran Turismo or Forza Motorsport. Many of them know popular tracks like Spa, Nürburgring, Silverstone or Suzuka. And the good thing is, many of these well-known tracks that you already learned in these games are featured here. With all DLCs, ACC features 24 laser scan tracks, including the ones mentioned before: Monza, Imola, Watkins Glen, Red Bull Ring, Mont Panorama, Hungaroring, Barcelona, Brands Hatch, Kilami, and the famous Nordschleife, and more. Almost all of these tracks are very recent scans and not only are 100% accurate to their real-life counterparts, but also feature fantastic artwork around the track to immerse you into the feeling of being part of a real race weekend. Where graphics surely aren't everything in a game, let alone a sim racing game, they do play a huge part for those that are looking to be fully immersed. ACC still looks absolutely fantastic, and while I focus more on the physics side, there is that special satisfying feeling to just lean back and look at your replay like it is a real TV broadcast. Compared to other sims, the prices are also very reasonable. As a beginner, you don't want to spend big money, you want to test the waters. The base game is usually on sale for as little as €8 on Steam, and while you might shell out €15 for a brand new DLC, they often go as low as €5 sometime after launch. If you start right now, buying the game including all DLC cars and tracks should set you back just around 25 to 30 euros. Considering these are laser scan tracks requiring more work and providing a way higher quality than those you find in Simcade games, this is a steal, with other platforms asking for up to 10 to 15 euros per single track or car. But it gets better. Due to the rise of the free online racing platform LFM in 2021, all of this content is available in a ranked online competition service that even provides post-race stewarding to make sure everyone races clean, a stewarding system greatly surpassing what the paid iRacing service provides. I can say from my own experience that sim racing will completely transform for you once you leave AI races and public lobbies and instead join a massive ranked community like LFM. The platform offers multiple race series for every taste, be it sprint races, longer races with pit stops, endurance races, esports leagues or multi-class fun. Alternatively to LFM, you will also find a good variety of leagues you can race in to take that next level. ACC provides a fantastic platform to progress from beginner to serious sim racer or just keep being a casual racer forever. The community of ACC also constantly keeps the game fresh as they create custom BOPs to balance the cars you can drive and prevent meta cars to arise. And due to the narrow scope of the game, you rarely have an issue that someone else didn't have before. Okay, we get it. ACC has lots of pros, but isn't it getting a bit old? Reading between the lines, it's almost certain that the Nordschleife DLC pack will be the final content piece to come to the game before developers fully move over to Assetto Corsa 2, which was announced at early access in late summer of 2024. Meanwhile, the creators of R-Factor 2 just launched the early access of Le Mans Ultimate, a WEC licensed game featuring the exciting new hypercar class. The issue with these titles is they will take time to be expansive and polished. Looking at how sim racing games develop, they always start off slow. When ACC first came into early access in late 2018, it was nowhere near as good as it is now. It took a few years to become what it is today. Community needs to form, bugs need to be ironed out, and tracks and cars need to be added to make it fun long term. Third-party apps like LFM take time to develop. The same thing happened to Automobilista 2, which also had a rough start but is slowly gaining popularity with each update improving the game. Both Le Mans Ultimate and Assetto Corsa 2 will at one point be leading sim racing games, just not yet. My prediction is it will take both of them until 2026 to not just be a fun departure from what's known, but to be a real contender to lead the genre. Until then, we have ACC, Assetto Corsa and iRacing for online racing. Assetto Corsa, despite being kept alive by a healthy mod scene, is very cumbersome for beginners as it overwhelms with choices and still has a clunky in-game UI in addition to added complexity through modding. That leaves us iRacing, arguably an even more complete experience than ACC, but it comes at a big price which just isn't justifiable for many beginners. In 2024, ACC is still the game to start sim racing with, unless you really hate GT3 cars, in which case you either have to mess with mods or pay a massive premium to join iRacing. I'd say many are best off just becoming friends with GT3 cars for the time being.